So I'm going to go ahead and do a little update here. Got 3 rows of beans. I think I may have said that in my last video, but anyways, weather's finally been nice. They are starting to come up. I've got 3 varieties here of climbing beans or pole beans. Got to put strings up for them to climb on. So water, some kind of water flower, I don't remember what my neighbor said it was she gave me. Peas are doing nice. There's 4 varieties of peas over here. And then what I've got right here are these 2 beds. I've basically got greens in it. I've got arugula, 2 kinds of spinach. I forgot what all I put in there, but anyway, salad stuff. Oh, lettuce. Parsley. This stuff I need to come in here and cut back and go in and dry some of that. Onions coming up there. More onions there. Little maple saplings. That right there would be a mulberry tree coming up. I seem to come up along fence rows from birds sitting on the top row of the fence and pooping seeds out, apparently. Anyways, need to do some weeding in here, but the onions are coming up real nice. Garlic's a little weak. Next year I'll put more. I'll try and actually plant some this fall for next year. So things are moving along. This stuff right here I've got in the ground, these tomato plants. The ones in pots, I'm waiting until they get a really good root structure going, and then I'm going to plant those in another bed. They won't stay in the pots. Green onions looking nice. This sage I've been working on to get it bushier, just kind of pruning it and trimming it here and there, kind of fill it out. Little straggler herbs down there, some rosemary. And a few stragglers here. Got some sunflowers. Those are going to get planted in one of my hugel beds on the other side of the fence. And there's some herbs and random tomato plants that survived the mouse attack in the greenhouse, which I'll show you inside there right now. Pretty well cleaned out, but the onions are doing amazing. I'm about ready to trim the tops down to about, I don't know, 6 inches or so, just cut them right off. And I've read that that'll help the bulbs grow. Nice row of green onions along that front side there. For some reason the radishes and the carrots are not really growing well in here. Might be the pH of the soil or something. I haven't checked into that yet. The rose that I dug up the other day is looking pretty nice. It's growing. And there's lots of seeds. Egg carton in the back. Only a few of my cayenne that I started from seed actually germinated. Part of the problem was we had stopped running the wood stove, so the living room wasn't that nice 80 degrees that it usually was anymore. It was about 65. Peppers kind of like it a lot hotter for germination. So anyways, I'll let those go a little bit. Gotta water them and put them in the ground. So right here my Swiss chard was looking kind of funky. I figured I'll just throw it in the ground, so I put a little patch of it here in between the blueberries. Second year in these, but I had to move them. They kind of had a rough year last year, so I'm going to try and keep the soil acidic in this general area for them. I'll get probably a handful of berries off from this one. There's 2 varieties here. This one's looking kind of wimpy, so I can see now all the dead stuff that needs trimmed off, and try and work on that. Really try and give it a little help this year. Oh, the potatoes in these pots are coming up nice. Let them come up another 3 or 4 inches, and I'll start filling in with wood chips around them until the whole pot's full. Cover crop is coming up nice. those tillage radishes look like some beastly little plants. It's crazy. I've been digging into these hugel beds, making little pockets where I'm putting things in. And it's crazy how the roots are starting to shoot down in there, and it's staying really moist in there. The one random strawberry plant that survived the mouse attack, I just threw in there. I've got a row of sunflowers across the top. Maybe you can see that guy right there, kind of my shadow in the way. And then one thing I did not realize was the hairy vetch cover crop, nitrogen fixer, looks exactly like peas. So my pea crop that I planted over in this bed over here, I almost can't tell the difference. So I'm just gonna have to wait till they grow up and see what happens. I mean, I kind of know where they're at, so it shouldn't be a problem. But anyways, these little pockets here, I put a mixture of compost and topsoil and coffee ground mix into these, and I've planted various herbs in all of those, kind of dotted throughout the hugel beds. This guy here got hammered by the frost. The innermost leaves down towards the bottom that were covered by everything else didn't get frosted. I guess the outer canopy of leaves sheltered it. So I just cut everything off, and I'll see if it comes back. If not, no big deal. This is what I'm going to call Squash Alley right here. Squash plants galore. Zucchini, summer squash, winter squash. It's going to be crazy. And I'll just pull the vines around as I need to. This little patch I dug into the wood chips and filled up with that same mixture of the horse manure compost, which was the horse manure, a little bit of wood chips, leaves, and coffee grounds. Dug this in, filled in that little spot, and I've got radishes, 2 kinds of radishes and carrots growing in there, and the carrots are a short carrot that will only go about 4 inches deep, which is about how deep this bed is. And I just noticed the radishes are popping up there. I love radishes, so sorry about the shadow, it's at my back right now. All the potatoes, these are early potatoes coming up here, just kind of a regular potato, and these pockets are coming up real nice. So I was talking about the hairy vetch and the peas. Right up against the fence is the row of peas I planted. And then, if you take a look, this is some of that hairy vetch right there. It's kind of got those little tendrils on it that grab onto stuff to climb. And right there is the pea plant. Very similar. So I know the peas are leguminous too, and they'll fix nitrogen, which is awesome. I'm not sure how well they're actually growing, if I'm going to get a crop of peas this year. The weather's been kind of funky, so we'll see how that goes. Right here is my cucumber trellis, and I have 2 varieties of cucumbers planted down there. I think maybe they're starting to pop up. I think I see one right here. Yep, there we go. Cucumber popping up through the wood mulch, and that's the same thing. Some dandelions, just throw those down. Dynamic accumulators bring up minerals that normal plants can't really access. That's why I'm not worried about weeds. A lot of them are pioneering species. They bring nutrients to the top where it's needed. So the pond, we've dug another level down. I have a little bit more digging to do, and I got a trench all the way around this whole thing to kind of make the locking trench, if you will, for the pond liner. So overflow over there. The pond liner, I hear, is supposed to arrive tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. Still a ton of work to do on this thing, but I can't wait to get this thing going, full of water, the waterfall going. I'm going to do some stuff different. This back berm back here, I'm going to do basically a reed bed filtration system. So similar to what you'd use for filtering gray water, the pump will basically flow through a stream bed filled with gravel, a little bit of clay at the bottom, and just naturally filter the water. So it's not going to be a huge waterfall. Basically, I'll be taking nutrients from the pond, from the fish, frogs, whatever lives in there, and growing mulch that I can use in the garden, like cattails, various aquatic plants that I'll put into the reed bed, and hopefully that works out well. If not, it'll be easy enough for me with the system I'm building to just add the biofilter to it, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work pretty good. So out here, these wood chip hugel beds with the compost, they are working quite well. My Indian corn is coming up nicely. The red clover cover crop, a nitrogen fixer, is coming up nicely. I'm going to have to figure out a winter cover crop for these beds because this is an annual, the red clover from what I've read. Trying to show this front side I've got peppered with onions. I see them coming up nice there. And then, this back side, there is onions along it, and then at the top of it, through the peak, I've got a sunflower mix. And those are coming up nice. And the nice thing about all of this is this corn is going to be tall. It's the kind of the variety I got should be probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 feet tall or something like that. This clover is going to come up and provide an awesome ground cover, shade out weeds, shade these whole beds from direct sunlight, which is going to keep the evaporative, the water evaporation down considerably. So, same thing with this one. Real strong growth in the clover through the center. These are mammoth sunflowers. It's supposed to be 12 feet tall or something. Having their roots protected by that red clover. Next year, with the nitrogen fixing, these beds should substantially improve. Same thing on the back side here. I've got a sunflower mix. And what I plan on doing, those sunflowers I showed you earlier in the seed trays, I'm just going to pop those in to this row here. I don't have anything in the peak of this row yet. So I'm going to put those in there. This bed over here, I decided not to put anything tall in it. We have a lot of squirrels around here, and there's a tree right here. So I didn't want a 12-foot sunflower and a squirrel jumping 3 feet from the tree into my sunflower. So nothing tall in this bed. What I've done through the center of this bed is I've planted potatoes. This outside edge right here, I've planted a row of bush beans. So they're going to grow a little bit faster than that clover. They're going to shade. They're basically a ground cover for this side, this front side of the bed. It'll probably shade out some of the clover and kill it off, but that's not a problem because it's going to remain shaded. And probably what I'll do is in a couple weeks is I'll come back through when these beans get a little taller and plant another row of them, so I have another row coming up. This back side right here, I have completely peppered with onions. Once again, the neighbor hit it there with his lawnmower. I hope he doesn't do it again. I need to start some more compost piles. I'm starting to run out here. Anyways, here's what I'm doing with this wood chip bed. This is just a single layer, really thick, somewhere around 8-inch to 10-inch thick wood chip bed. And what I've done, dig a hole in it all the way down to the ground. And what I'll do is I'll fill that up with good soil. So I'm making basically half and half mix of bagged topsoil, just stuff I get at Menards. It's like $1 a bag, and I'll mix that with a couple shovel full of coffee grounds and some of my composted horse manure. Make a nice rich combination of that stuff and fill up the hole. And you can see here that there's some pepper plants growing in there. And yeah, I'll pull the wood mulch back over the top to keep, the evaporation down, the surface. But when I dug into these holes here and planted these bigger tomatoes, I'm replacing some of the tomatoes that got killed by the frost. One handful down into this stuff, this mix, after a week it was loaded with worms. It's just crazy. And that's what I want to see. Those worms are getting in there, they're eating that organic material, they're leaving their worm castings behind, leaving very rich pockets of soil for plants to grow in. And next year, I'll alternate these spots. So I'm building a layer of soil on top of what's already there. This is a row of cayenne right here. I'm about ready to pull the wood chips back over it. Right up to the plants. I was letting them get a little bit bigger. Keep them mulched in real nice. Reduce that evaporative water loss from the sun. And then my potato box. These things are going crazy. I'm about ready to start filling these in. There's a few stragglers down there, a little short. I'll wait for them to catch up. Start filling this whole box up with wood chips. It's the, if you look around on YouTube or Google it or something, growing 100 pounds of potatoes in 4 square feet. That's what I'm attempting right there with that pallet box. So anyways, update on the garden, how things are growing. In general, the backyard is slowly coming along. Hopefully, I want to say within a month, we'll have the pond up and going. Hopefully it'll be good timing, get some good rain. The grass up there is coming in nice. I'm going to let it probably get about 8-10 inches tall. Let it go to seed or something before I mow it, make sure the roots get nice and deep. But anyways, things are looking good. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.